Alright, y'all, welcome back to Rebels Canyon. It is me, NVJumper. And I'm bringing you the next war recap video, but we're going to change it up a little bit this time. We had a tough loss, 38 to 40, 86%, 93%. We knew going in this was going to be really, really tough. They had some very strong bases, nearly maxed out bases, very high heroes. I'll show you just kind of one example of it once I get into it. A little bit behind on my war recaps. I had a couple busy days at home, so. But again, we're going to change it up, and there's not really too many new attacks or new attack strategies or anything we haven't seen before. So, seeing as this was a lost war, I'm going to actually show you failed attacks. We had 2 failed attacks, so I'm going to show those and kind of point out some of the things that went wrong and some lessons learned from those. So, looking at the maps, they really handle their business. Very few missed stars. And everything was up top, so very, very good war for them. 40, easily a respectable score. 41, maybe could have been a little bit better for them with a 1 star and Lieutenant Dan, so good defense by him. And it was even their number 1 guy that didn't quite get there. So, again, checking their map, we just really kind of struggled up top. You know, we didn't get the 3 stars we needed. We'll come back up here in a little bit and check one of their bases, but you know, the bottom guys really handled their business. They handled their own, as you'll see when we get into the stats. But up top, it was really, really tough up top. So we're gonna check this one. You can even see just by the amount, 500,000. It's a pretty decent amount for a Town Hall 9. So we come in here, and you can see lava walls all over the place. Just that one corner really not maxed out walls. Everything else fully maxed out. You can't see it, but all the traps are maxed out. Teslas are maxed out. Heroes, 22 king, 21 queen, so very, very high heroes. Just very maxed out, and that's kind of an example of their bases. So we knew going into it was going to be really, really tough, and so we were actually, fairly happy with 38 on the bases that they had. It was a tough loss, but we weren't really that upset about it. I mean, it's a pretty respectable loss in our opinion. So we'll come in here, we'll check the stats. 2 attacks lost. Those are going to be the ones we're going to check out. 9 3 stars, but again, they really handled their stuff. We were hoping, seeing their bases, we knew it was going to be tough. We were hoping their attack wouldn't be as good. But unfortunately, their attacks were just as good as their defense, so really good job by them. We will also check that heroic attack, as always. So coming into the attacks for our team, the 1 failed attack by me, just a botched GoHo. We're going to take a look at that. Flo missed an attack. I believe she said she had something going on at work, so she couldn't make it. And then Chromium and Emily, we forced in for numbers. Got a little bit greedy and it ended up hurting us because we just didn't have enough attacks left to cover. Tyson's kind of been this way. He's 1 attack per war. We've been really kind of disappointed with him, so we've held him out of a couple wars, and until he gets his act together and straightens back up and gets his starts getting his 2 attacks in. So we'll check our defenses here, working our way back up. Took him a long time to get the 3-star on Chad, and eventually number 4 had to drop all the way down and get there. It's not the first time Chad's had some people. He's given some people trouble, so he's got a pretty good defense set up. So there's the rest of our defenses. Checking the enemy team. Top guy again having the one almost got 1 star on him. And they also did a pretty good job of attacking down. I mean, if you look, 2 attacking 5 and 6. 4 coming all the way down to 12. So, but they handled what they needed to. And then their bottom guys, they didn't have to use them. I'm not sure why they didn't attack and get loot, but, it is what it is. A defense by number 9. Number 8 and 7 giving us some problems. I kind of remember those a little bit. It's been a couple days since this war. Dutch, again, give us some problems, but, even had a defense in there. And eventually, number 3 coming down to get the 2-star on him. All right, so let's come in here to the... Actually, we're going to check the heroic attack first. Another most heroic by Flo Flo. And just a rage dragon again. You know, 2 air defenses on the Channel 7. Just dropping her troops in here. Dropping balloons as soon as the air defense starts targeting it. Missed a little bit there on the balloons, but you know, with clan castle troops, it can be a little bit hard to target. And just dropping rages, getting those balloons in there as quick as they can. And unfortunately, the dragons kind of get held up a little bit, and the balloons get out ahead of them, and they get taken down by these air defenses. But still, just so many dragons left. There's absolutely nothing that can be done. And it's pretty much over. So we're going to go ahead and speed it up. Finish this attack up real quick. And then we're going to get to the losses. Okay, so again, good job by Flo Flo, getting that most heroic yet again. Alright, so in here, let's see, it was about 5 hours left in the war when mine happened. So we'll check mine first. And again, just a failed GoHo. It was a cleanup, so I knew where the Teslas and the giant bombs were, so I knew that there was a double giant bomb in the upper right here. So trying to come in here and break through there and set that double giant bomb off. I just made a mistake and just didn't make my funnel wide enough, so my king goes off on his own and goes off to the side, and as soon as that starts, you know, there's really nothing you can do about it. So maybe could have taken some of those wizards and tried to break the funnel again, but I don't think he even would have went where I wanted him at that point. And then queen, of course, to the right, you know, just not making that funnel wide enough, just really kind of hindered what I was trying to do. I do get in there, and I eventually get both of the double giant bombs set off. And then down here in the bottom, I was just trying to get in there with this kind of a suicide squad, you know, just enough hogs to get in there and try and trigger this double set. Got the one bomb set off, and that's all I was really looking for. I was hoping to get both, but if I could only get one, it was fine. And I had enough heals so I could drop, you know, a heal in the central one. But, you know, at that point, it just not getting the queen taken care of, and, you know, all these little skeletons, and then kind of mismanaging my heals a little bit. You know, a little bit too many hogs in my suicide squad, got all those guys killed, more than I needed to, and then mismanaging the heals at the end. Just really wasn't enough left. Maybe even could have done a better job keeping all the hogs in one area and then using the 3 heals as they went around, rather than trying to split them into 2 groups for time. But, you know, I was kind of panicked at that point and wasn't really sure how I was going to go, so I just tried to get the 50%, I guess, just to get my loot, and couldn't even get that. So, failed attack. It just goes really into the importance of funneling. You've got to get your funnel and make your troops go where you want them to go, because as soon as they go off course, it can just ruin an entire attack. Alright, so we're going to come check the second fail. And that is about 16 hours left in the war right here by DJ. I believe this was his initial attack. No, I think it was a cleanup. Unless he just really had a guess of that giant bomb being there. But comes in here, draws the CC troops. Everything kind of starts off looking pretty good. We'll speed up this a little bit, get these troops over there, and then we'll slow back down. So, brings him in here, and the first thing, and I don't really understand what he was thinking, is, you know, he drops his witches like we usually do, but then he doesn't drop any wizards to follow it up to start attacking them, and then I'm not sure what that poison spell was doing. Not sure why he didn't cover the dragon with that. So really not really sure what was going on. Also, I think the other mistake with that was when he dropped it on the same... the one troop in there dropped on that anchor. The dragon targeted that one troop, which was right on top of the witches, so the splash damage killed them all. So that kind of hurt. And then, of course, going into the attack, still really should have had enough. I just think a little bit of... the big lesson out of this one, I think, is hog pathing. Everything's still starting off pretty good here. You know, he's got his hogs kind of wrapping a circle around it, but right here they start splitting. So it really goes into, you have to understand how the hogs are going to path, because I think once this happened, his hogs got spread out, and it kind of broke the plan that he had of just wrapping around in a big circle, and kind of like I was talking about in my previous attack, keeping them all together so you can heal them. once they split up, I think he was worried about which one do I want to heal, you know, which group is going to be best, and I think he just got a little bit panicked about it. And because he wasn't sure which group to heal, he ends up healing none of them until now when it's just way too late. So he just lost most of his hogs. So you really have to understand that the pathing and what's going to, you know, where the hog's going to go. Really easy way to fix that one would have been to save maybe 5 or so hogs, 4 or 5 hogs. And as they kind of came around to the north side of the base, about the 12 to 11 o'clock position, drop those reserve hogs or reinforcement hogs on that. Here, we'll watch it again so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. It really goes into hog pathing. It's a really good example of how you can do that in reinforcement. So again there, the archer targeted that, and because they're all right next to each other, they get splash damage killed. And the dragon doesn't actually target the skeletons because they aren't the first troop out. So the first troop that the dragon saw was that first archer, and everything stayed together, and that's why the dragon killed the witches. And that really kind of hurt his cleanup squad. And also not having any wizards, it took longer to get that dragon killed. But again, coming in here, you know, starts off just fine. Not sure what's going on with those hogs down there at the bottom. I don't think it fit really with his plan of keeping everybody together, so, you know, maybe a couple wasted hogs there, but he did get some value out of it. He took out a couple buildings, so not too bad there. But right about now, as soon as that archer tower started locking onto this group of hogs that are under heal, if you drop some hogs in the upper left there on that air sweeper, that could have broken this chain where these hogs start splitting. And they would have hit that air sweeper, then come all the way over here to this tower and rejoin the main group of hogs. So if he held a couple back, maybe that group that he initially sent in the bottom right, used those as reinforcement, could have kept the path going all the way around the circle and been able to maximize his use of heals and not lost any of the hogs. And I think he might have come around and still been able to get it. Might have made it a little bit tougher on time because all the hogs would be in one group, and then if they don't split during the cleanup, he could have some issues there, especially since his wizard kill squad, cleanup squad got kind of hurt at the beginning. But I think it definitely would have worked out a lot better. So just some things to keep in mind with the hogs. You know, hog pathing is essential, and trying to keep your main goal together. If you're trying to spread out your hogs and do surgical hogs, you know, making sure that you get those in there at the right times. If you're just doing mass hogs, you know, using your heals, maximizing everything you can get. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this war. I'm going to follow it up by a absolute domination war, a perfect score in the next one. So I'm going to stop this one and pick it right back up with the next war.